Now, y'all better behave.
No promises.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mile High Roundtable. Some highlights from the last game. Fangio has come up with a brand new defensive scheme that everyone in the NFL knows about already and has used multiple times just this year. It's called a blitz. DeMar Dotson proves to Fangio what everyone else on the face of the planet already knew. Being a right tackle, playing right tackle, is better than being a guard and playing right tackle. All this and more right here on the Mile High Roundtable. Not even one. Surprise.
I was about to say, did our mics get turned on before I realized it? Or?
Do you think that was you sitting on there?
No, I thought I was like, what was going on?
We missed the whole thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good times. All right, so last week we started doing something called The News, because that's absolutely amazing title, and I haven't come up with a better one yet. We're going to give it another try. So we're going to start out. We got four big stories for Broncos country, and they're four that we think are important. We're going to start off with Mr. Glenn. What do you got for us?
All right, hang on.
Again, why not? Why couldn't you do it during the music?
We need to get him. We need to get him a phone booth so he can.
I gave you 30 seconds.
All right.
It's a new jacket.
So, hang on.
We've been hanging on.
In what was intended to be an appearance on behalf of USAA, the future of one of the most popular players in Broncos history was put front and center, and he didn't like it. While a guest on Denver's The Fan with Brandon Stokely and Zach Bye, a rehabbing Von Miller was asked about taking a pay cut or restructuring for less money. After a mysterious disconnection, Vaughn was back on the line. The question was once again posed, and he resorted to a couple I don't know answers, and the interview was abruptly ended. As the show continued, all of the content was related to Vaughn's reaction, how the hosts were justified in asking a question like that, how seemingly all of the Denver media members were texting their support for the hosts, and then the audience was treated to several more re-airings of the interview. Taking off my hard-hitting reporter hat, it seemed like to me, someone who was listening to the show live, that the question was asked as a way to generate a reaction that would be negative and turn into a story. How else was Vaughn going to react? I don't believe in babying and kissing up to athletes, but I do believe in being polite to the guests and not creating news. A restructure, pay cut, or outright release of number 58, these are all on the table clearly. We all know it. And Vaughn knows it. My point is there was no reason to insult him and then trash him for his reaction right after he said no matter what, if he could come back from any games, regardless of the Broncos' record, he would. Just ask Ryan O'Halloran from the Denver Post. He got a full interview. Back to you, Mike.
Nice. I like it. Moving on to Mr. 6'10". What do you got?
All right, so as you know, guys know, Broncos country, we had a big contract signing this past week. We signed Mike Purcell. He's currently the nose tackle for the Broncos defensive line, which is really, really good news since the last couple of weeks we've been getting nothing but bad news in terms of injuries. But we finally made it through a whole game without anybody seriously getting hurt, and that includes just Noah Fant. But Noah Fant wasn't seriously hurt. He'll be back soon. But Mike Purcell, he didn't get an increase. He's still going to make what he's currently making, which is like just a little bit over $3.2 million. But he got a contract where it got extended for about 3 years. So it's going to be with a total value of about $14.8 million towards the cap with a guarantee of about 6.8. So this is really good news because Mike Purcell is one of those, feel-good stories. He started back in 2013. He was picked up with the 49ers when Vic Fangio was there. So he actually went to that Super Bowl with the Niners that season. And then since then, he's just been bouncing back and forth from team to team, mostly on practice squads, going back and forth. So thankfully, Fangio was able to bring him in last year, and he was able to get some traction going with Shelby Harris. But if you remember, both of him and Shelby Harris played different positions. So when Fangio saw that they were struggling, he switched them around. And he was able to see that both of those guys were able to start from different positions and use their abilities a whole lot much more better. So, now we have Mike Purcell on the line. We just need to secure down Shelby Harris. We have our pass rush is still debatable. We still need to work on that. But as far as Jarrell Casey, I don't think that he'll be back next season. His contract is pretty expensive. I don't see Denver picking it up. So unless Casey takes a cut or they renegotiate or something, then I don't see him coming back. Back to you, Mike.
Poltergeist. Christy, what do you got?
I have Brandon Mcmanus, who earned the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week for the first time in his career, with not only one but two field goals for more than 50 yards each, a 54-yarder and the game-ending 53-yarder against the Jets. Mcmanus went 3 of 3 on field goal attempts and 4 of 4 on extra points, earning him a high praise from Coach Fangio, saying he had a hell of a night kicking the ball. Mcmanus is the 27th player in franchise history to earn the AFC Special Teams Player of the Week. The last Broncos player to win the honor was Justin Simmons in 2017. Mcmanus has gone 6 of 7 on field goal attempts this season, with the longest being 58 yards, in honor of Von Miller, I'm sure.
All right. I have Mr. Bosby. Now, halfway through the Jets game and after saying Bassey struggled to cover the slot, Coach Fangio decided to make a move. Bassey was replaced as the slot corner for Bryce Callahan, and Devontae Bosby was brought in as the outside corner. Now, when asked about the change, Coach Fangio said, because of the way that the game went, I wouldn't have been able to give him a lot of help. I think Bryce is our best nickel, as everybody knows. So I put Bryce in there and put Bosby at corner, and that's the way we decided to go with it the whole second half in our nickel stuff. Now, when asked how Bosby played, Fangio had this to say. Obviously, he got his hands on a couple balls and broke them up. He had a chance for a pick there at the end, but didn't get it converted. He had some other plays that he would like to do over, but I think with the current status of our secondary, I'm inclined to leave him in there and play more. Now, this week, it would not be surprising to see Bosby and Michael Ojemudia start as the two outside cornerbacks and Callahan playing in the slot. That is our news. We tried to make it serious, and then Glenn put a brown fly thing on his head.
Guacamole?
And poltergeist on my jersey.
You got to admit, you can't beat it when it's live. It just makes it that much more better.
Well, and I can't have like a Tebow jersey over here and not put my Davis jersey back up. That doesn't even.
Yeah, but to piggyback off your point, Mike, bringing back Devontae Bosby was something that it shouldn't have taken this long to do. Bosby should have been playing since week 1. He should have been in the rotation, especially when A.J. Bouye got hurt towards the end of the half against the Titans. And so if this game does not prove to the coaching staff that Bosby can be a legitimate starter, then I don't know what else needs to happen for them to, wake up and realize. Because thankfully, Ojemudia went out there and he didn't make any serious mistakes. He played a really good game against the Jets. And we're hoping that he can do the same thing coming up against New England. But as long as you have Bosby out there and you continue to use him as a strength as well as Callahan, then I think the corners should do just fine.
Let's not forget for a minute, Bosby was cut.
Yeah.
Anyone could have taken him. So we're very fortunate that we were able to secure him back on the practice squad, and then.
And it doesn't make any sense why they have Duke Dawson on there and cut Bosby. Like, I don't even think Duke Dawson's seen the field yet.
Yeah.
But now Bosby's going to potentially start. Like, come on. Before we get into the recap, we want to welcome everybody in. ZWD coming out first. What's up, Broncos family? We are joined by Landon. We have Albert Knoppers. Nice to see you, too. And then we've got, he just popped in, Adam Sears. How's everyone doing?
Hey.
Well, Glenn got the fly off his head, so he's good.
He's doing good.
Okay, so today is a little bit different. The last 3 podcasts we've done were all off of Broncos losses, and 2 of them were very close. This time, it's a win. And I know it's against the Jets, and the Jets are terrible, but I don't care. It's a win. A win is a win is a win. Is a win is a win. Is a win. So, let's start off by talking about the negatives we saw in the game, and then we'll move into the good things that we saw that we can build into the coming game. So what the first thing that I had were those 3 Rippon interceptions. One of them wasn't his fault, but the other 2 were definitely his fault. Like the first one, he didn't throw it out of bounds far enough.
Yeah, that's I'd go 50-50 on that because you don't need to be a pro to know exactly how to throw a ball away. Most of the guys quarterbacks, they just either lob it just to make sure it's uncatchable instead of just throwing a dart out of bounds. But in terms of Rippon, I think he went out there and he played a really good first half, but it's like he kind of morphed from that great quarterback to like Jeff Driscoll from last week, where he just kept making all these mistakes. But kudos to the defense for going out there and holding the Jets to just 3 field goals, because if it wasn't for that, this could have been a whole different type of game. So the defense stepped up. They came in and they helped clean up for Rippon. But for Rippon, he needs to go out there. If he does start on Sunday, he needs to go out there. He needs to make sure he can't keep doing these types of mistakes, because not everybody is as terrible as the Jets are, and you're not always going to hold them to just 3 simple points. That works.
Yeah. I can't tear into the guy for 3. I can't. I've seen Tom Brady throw 3 interceptions and Peyton Manning. So, I think it's not to be expected or that you would want that to happen, but I think it's going to happen. He's going out there with a new crew basically, and you just got to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you also have to, on that first interception, the one that he threw that wasn't out of bounds far enough, that was a heck of a catch by that DB. That was a catch.
That's the same guy that got burned by Jerry Jeudy on the touchdown.
Yeah.
So
it was impressive though.
Yeah.
It was an impressive catch. Now
the
other 2, like one of them he threw into
double coverage,
triple coverage.
Yeah, sorry.
That was just a bad throw.
Yeah.
That was a bad read.
And there were other throws that could have been intercepted. The Jerry Jeudy touchdown, that one could easily have been picked off.
Mm-hmm. That was underthrown.
And we did see some arm strength from him. Like he can throw the ball. The problem is that it floats there for 10 years before it comes down.
Like a rainbow.
Yeah. But in all fairness, it was his first start. He was extremely poised.
Right.
Jeudy definitely helped him out on that touchdown, but he looked like an NFL quarterback out there. He really did. I don't care if it's the Jets. It doesn't matter. The positivity that's we've seen now in the last week has been pretty exciting. Even though we're 1-3, but I have Rippon on the INTs on as on my bad list, but I have him being a pleasant surprise on my good list.
Right.
Agreed.
Another thing that we have to look at that was negative, and I don't know why we start with the negative.
To get it out of the way, we want to end on a positive note.
Yeah.
is Noah Fant getting hurt. It was just a matter of time before the injury bug.
Somebody else was going to get hurt.
It's like, who's next?
Yeah,
Well, thankfully, it's nothing serious, so he probably won't play on Sundays. Doubtful.
Well,
so-
he's day to day, right?
Yeah, from what I read, but so is Drew
high ankle
Lock.
sprain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
So
those
it
tend to be
could've been
tricky.
last year,
Like they tend to be persistent. If you get a
Yeah.
high ankle sprain, you get one again. I mean, it's just something they're gonna have to let him fully recover before they send him out on the field.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those turf toe things. Like you never
Yeah.
know how serious it is until you
Right.
go and try, and then it's like, owie, I can't go yet. And then you gotta wait another week.
Speaking of turf toe, guess who's coming back on Sunday?
Hey, that's a positive. Hold on.
I thought that was going to be a segue.
No. But when you were talking about the field goals that the Jets made, there was one touchdown, and that was the run by Darnold. And holy crap, could Simmons and Jackson have not given any less effort?
Yeah.
What was that? Like I kind of understand. So you saw Jackson running towards Darnold and then kind of pull back and then chase him. I can see that because it looked like Darnold was going to slide but didn't. So
Right.
I get that.
At least Simmons made an attempt to, at least he dove. And, Alexander Johnson, he came in so fast that he miscued a step. So he thought Darnold was
came
going to
in-
move, and he came in like a missile.
He came in way too hot.
Yeah, so if Darnold took one step to his right, that's a sack all day. But the fact that Kareem Jackson kind of just stood there.
Right.
He didn't try to dive. At least I think it was one of the defensive linemen at the last minute tried to attempt and trip Darnold.
Yeah.
So at least that man, that huge guy, dove. Whereas I'm pretty sure if Kareem Jackson tried, maybe he could have knocked Darnold at the 5 to 1 yard line or wherever they were, and gave the defense a chance. But that was a really terrible play.
That was. I mean, getting juked by Darnold kind of sums up Simmons' performance this season.
Right.
I mean, it really does. I mean, each week we're sitting here and we're saying that Simmons needs to step up. He needs to step up. And I don't know. That's kind of a question mark for me. I don't think he stepped up at all.
He did for like half a game,
That doesn't
like
count.
like 2 weeks ago.
You can't step up for half a game and then step back.
Yeah. It raises a red flag on both of our safeties.
I mean, Darnold isn't even he's a non-scrambling quarterback to begin with. So
Yeah.
it was bad all around.
I think Alexander Johnson took his frustrations about not tackling him on that play out on
Yeah.
Darnold.
Yeah,
That
Oh,
was a
yeah.
nice drive. Yeah, that was
When
a
I-
dirty play.
When I saw
I don't think it was.
I do.
think-
when I saw that happen, I first thing I thought was, boy, Brett Rippon's in for some shots as a result of that.
Yeah.
Well, but at the same time, like Alexander Johnson didn't get fined. There was no penalty. Like it was a legal hit. It looked
was.
bad, but he spun him over his body as he was falling down. So
And to
I
give him-
can see how it looks bad.
And to give him credit, like if you watch the play, Darnold was spinning around and he was still looking for someone to throw to. So
Yeah.
if he had not spun him around like that, then he could have got it off.
Well, I mean, and you have to realize that it made Sam Darnold play through an injury, which made things worse, and that's why he's not starting this week. Our old friend Flacco is starting against the Cardinals. So that's why I said, like, if he would have fell with Darnold, like, okay, that's securing the sack. But the way that he spun and threw him, it's like it wasn't. To me, anyway, I just thought it was a dirty play.
it was a little rough.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco, the second most famous statue in the New York area.
About to meet Chandler Jones.
So, and I know that this is Vic Fangio's defense, but the off coverage that the D plays, I get it. That's part of the game plan, but come on, like there's way too much cushion. Like there is no way the Jets should have scored that many points. No way.
Agreed.
There has to be. I don't know whether it's move a safety up or move a linebacker back or something, but they have got to stop giving them that much room in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
And it's not even tight ends. It's everybody.
Yeah. It's they struggled on coverage. I know Bryce Callahan, the 2 times that I saw he did get burned, it was just on man coverage. He just got outran.
Yeah.
But luckily he gave up the catch, but at least he didn't give up, the huge yards. But yeah, you're right, Mike. This is something that I know we've addressed many times, and I don't know what it is about. And it's not just Fangio. I've noticed that other teams do it too. So maybe it'll change. We saw that now all of a sudden Fangio's starting to blitz more often, which is great, using Honey Bear and Alexander Johnson as rockets. Yeah. So hopefully this is a turn for a change.
We hope so.
The next negative I have is Tom McMahon. Do we even really need to say about that?
We're having a positive and a McMahon list.
And the next one that I want to do, which will also be a good segue into the good, is Fangio's roster decisions, and that would include the head-scratching decision to continue to have Wilkinson in there instead of having DeMar Dotson in there. I think that's the biggest one so far. I mean, Alexander Johnson last year. Now I lost it. It's Alexander. There was another one. Bosby. And then keeping Wilkinson in there. Well, obviously, going from that bad decision to putting Dotson in, you switch to the good. Holy crap. Did our offensive line look so much better with Dotson in there?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Agreed.
Everybody was able to do their job. I mean, with Wilkinson in there, it was like they were trying to make up for the difference. And just with him out, it did wonders. Like you saw, it worked. The line actually worked. But, I mean, for it to take an injury for him to be out it's not right. It's not highly regarded at all.
Agreed.
Maybe Vic would get free haircuts at Wilkinson's barbershop. Maybe
that's why he was in there for so long.
It was a promising
Tit for
sign
tat.
though, because I mean the only one still struggling on that O-line is our guards. Glasgow and Reisner are still struggling.
Well, but Cushenberry too.
Well, Cushenberry's a rookie, so you can't really lean on him that much in his first year.
But you're supposed to. Like, he's the center. He's the brains behind the operation.
But he's still a rookie.
Have to.
But at the same time, what we did see improvement is that even against a defensive line like the Jets, and they were playing some really dirty defensive football, but even so, the offensive line was able to give Rippon just enough time where he didn't have to keep running for his life from the right side. The offensive line guys were able to give him that few seconds. And if Rippon can do that with that amount of time, just imagine what Drew Lock can do with that amount of time, especially if he needs to scramble and if the offensive line can open up a hole, Drew Lock can run and get some yards. He's a better mobile quarterback than Driscoll is. So it's a really good sign going forward that as long as this offensive line can stay healthy and as long as we can keep Wilkinson on the bench, I think we'll be just fine.
Big E Broncos says that Rippon reminds him of Chad Pennington. Very accurate, but no arm strength. I haven't heard that name in forever.
That just rang a bell.
But that's a good comparison.
That is.
And smart. Pennington was a real smart guy.
He was a smart guy.
Mm.
Albert Knoppers, it was Rippon's first start. I think he had great poise. Correct.
That is true.
I believe
Very
he
true.
did as well.
Very much.
Adam Sears, hashtag statue of Flacco.
Seriously.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. Oh, Big E with the answer for why they have so much terrible coverage. They have to play back like that to, I'm assuming, disguise the linebackers for not being able to cover.
Yep.
Which goes into that one. Isn't that why they got Bradham?
Yeah.
Now, why do they keep signing like Bradham? Why do they keep signing him to the practice squad? Why wouldn't they just put him on the roster? We all know he's going to end up on the roster. So why do they keep signing him to the practice squad first?
I have no idea. You got me there. Maybe it's like a procedure that they're doing, like a chain of command, so to speak.
Maybe they're like trying to save some players for later.
Probably.
I don't know.
But I know we say it a lot, and I still say that we need another pass rusher for that defensive line because you just need it. I mean, I want to keep believing in Malik Reed, but, Bradley Chubb is starting to pick up where he left off last year before he got injured, and that's great to see. But we also need somebody on the other side because once offensive line starts seeing that, they're going to start double teaming him. And if they do that, then they have to be punished on the opposite side,
Yeah, and especially not having Natachu in there because he's hurt right now.
Right.
You hope you can get the Bradham in there and get those other linebackers in there for some.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how long he's expected to be out? I've not seen that.
Atachu. I saw his name on the injury report, but I didn't see.
He did practice. I think it's a week-to-week thing.
Yeah, I know KJ Hamler's out this weekend. He's not playing at all. That hamstring came back to bite him even harder than previously stated. Right. So that sucks.
But that's going to be a problem all year. I mean, we got to just accept that.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of,
he'll have a few good games and then he'll be out. So it's not going to be good for him if that keeps up like that.
I think you'll see Hamler back after the bye. And that's if Denver isn't forced to take an early bye. So
and again, those hamstrings are those are tough to come back from because they keep coming back and keep coming back and keep coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna compare it to, but I never played NFL football, so I can't compare it.
Only on Madden.
Only on Madden, and not even very well at that either.
Me neither.
Speaking of the linebackers in the pass rush. And the blitz. Finally, we got a blitz, and it worked. I don't know if it worked just because it was the Jets, because the Jets are terrible at everything. Or did it work because we just needed to get a blitz, and it'll work on the Patriots? And, I mean, you don't know which one it is, but it looked really good. We had, 6 sacks in that game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I think it'll work. Because this is exactly what Denver should have been doing from the start, putting pressure on the quarterback. And, as decent as Sam Darnold has been all season, and decent is a stretch for me saying that, he was able to make some decent plays when he had time to throw. So if you take that away from him and you force him to run, like on that 4th down where he tried to run and Chubb got in there just in the nick of time from preventing him from, spreading and running out. That's exactly what the defense was missing. That blitz where you have to force the quarterback to either throw or, try to force him to run or confuse him, do something. Don't let them throw the ball. And when you keep doing blitzes like that, I mean, obviously you don't want to blitz every single play, but when you throw one here and there on certain drives, it works.
Well, and with bringing Bosby in to help cover for Bassey, you hope that they can blitz more and let the corners play man-to-man or individually on the receivers on their own so that you don't have to keep dropping people back and worrying about that. Yeah. So I'm hoping Bosby's going to help in that way as well.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Judy and Patrick. Now, I'm going to rub it in your face just a little bit. I told you that Tim Patrick was going to have a game, and he did. He was amazing. Now, he didn't have an amazing catch like Judy did. He just stole it from the guy and then stared him down as he walked in backwards. But they both had really good games.
I don't know. I thought Judy was going to get his first touchdown, and fortunately, that's one of the few things that I've said all year that was actually correct. Corey Davis and Tannehill suck, things like that.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
The fact that one of the card companies actually came out with a Jerry Judy Most card, a special, for the occasion trading card is pretty cool for his first, one. And even LeBron James was tweeting it out, which I thought was kind of special for the.
Yeah, you know what I loved most about that play after he celebrated. One of the very first guys to go out there and celebrate with him was Garrett Bowles. Garrett Bowles ran all the way over to the end zone to go celebrate with him. So that to me was awesome. I love that.
Yep. Let's get to. There's a good one. Jake Stevens, hey, 6'10". Looks like Melvin Gordon made us eat our words.
I agree. This is exact. You know what? The Phillip Lindsay injury, as bad as it was losing him the first 4 games, actually helped Melvin Gordon plead his case on why he's here. You know, all off season and training camp, we've been ripping him for being paid so much money to come and be on a team where we already have a running back. And not to take anything away from Lindsay, I love the guy. I'm pretty sure he's going to come back on Sunday and run wild. But Gordon has shown that when a guy like Lindsay is down and he needs time to heal, that Gordon can be that guy. If you give him the space to run, if the offensive line can open up those holes, he can be the guy to close the gap if the Broncos are behind or to seal a win like the Broncos did against the Jets. So I think that Melvin Gordon has made a lot of us eat our words. And, you know, here's that hoping that him and Lindsay can finally get that 1-2 combo punch going that we all predicted at the beginning of the season going.
Yeah, let's hope that Shermer can pick up on that and utilize them as a duo. Hopefully that'll happen.
Well, and I will say that Pat Shermer's play selections in the game were more consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Better,
I wouldn't say perfect, but they were more consistent.
Yep.
And, you know, with Lindsay getting back in there for the next game, that opens up a little bit more. You know, and with being able to have Lindsay and Gordon on the field at the same time, you never know who they're going to go to. So,
Right.
Yeah.
That's going to help.
You know, and really, to be fair, I mean, the criticism of Gordon wasn't that he was a lousy player or anything. It all had to do with his...
how much he got paid.
Yeah, how much he got paid.
Right. I guess people seem to think he gets paid a certain amount. He has to make a certain amount of
and it's even better because if you look at the Chargers roster on their running back, with their head guy gone, they have nobody. They're dealing with rookies right now, so you can't tell me that nobody on that team misses that man right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see here. We know that Lindsay's coming back. Do we know if Boye is coming back for the next game?
It's not for sure.
Who?
Boye.
I didn't see his name on the injury report. I don't think he's even practiced yet, so
He hasn't practiced.
I don't think he'll be back. You probably won't see him until either before Denver's bye or after Denver's bye.
Okay.
That's my honest opinion.
So it's going to be either before or after.
That's
Either one.
It would be best if it was after.
Good call.
I think.
It would be best if he came back after, but as long as he doesn't get rushed out there, you know, before the Denver's bye week. But that would be my guess on when he could come back.
It'll be good. It'll be good after the bye week, but it'll be good before too. So
Yeah,
good all around.
pretty much.
Good.
Whenever he comes back, before
You know,
or after.
as we start seeing some of these players coming back, that's going to be where the momentum, you know, especially if we win this week, the momentum continues to in the excitement and the team enthusiasm, and seeing some of the other teams that aren't doing particularly well that would otherwise be perhaps competition for that other, you know, for the wild card spots and things like that. I think, you know, having Lindsay coming back right now is great for, I think, team morale, fan morale, and let's just hope he can stay healthy. That's a tough injury.
And now they can run on both sides, left or right.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Now one side is not stronger than the other. That's right, Mike.
That is absolutely correct. All right.
That was the first thing I thought of. I think the first run went on the right side, and I was like,
Yeah.
We have a right side?
He was-
interesting play.
Yeah.
Before that, he was putting his life in other people's hands at that point. Grab the ball. You're running right. Jesus, take the wheel and just run.
Just run, baby. Just run.
So going into the Patriots game. Now, I thought that Cam Newton was going to be out for the game. Big E is saying that he's supposed to play because he passed his COVID test twice. Now, I was hoping it was going to be like a 14-day quarantine, then you pass the test.
It has to be 10 days is what the NFL
I know, but
for.
I was hoping for 14.
Yeah, the 13th.
Because I would love to have the Denver's defense against Hoyer
or Stidham.
Stidham.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And that's still a great possibility to happen, because what New England doesn't want is to lose at Foxborough. But I think right now New England has bigger problems than just Cam Newton going out there. Their wide receiver core is really banged up. If you saw what they did last Sunday, I mean, even though their quarterback struggled, the wide receivers, I know N'Keal Harry, I think, got hurt. Julian Edelman, he seems to be struggling more and more every single game. And the Patriots don't really have any good tight ends. So even if you bring Cam Newton out there, who's he going to throw to if his guys can't catch, or he doesn't have anybody healthy, or if the Patriots throw out some rookie wide receivers that Cam has not practiced with or had any chemistry with?
Cam is going to run it. And you saw what happened with Darnold. So hopefully hopefully we can tackle Cam.
Well, and Big E was saying the Patriots not really able to practice until until
Friday.
I think he said Friday. So I mean they haven't really had any practice. Plus, you've got Stephon Gilmore, who's now positive.
Yeah,
you
he's
have
out.
A practice squad player who just tested positive. Yeah. So then you're kind of in that situation where, well, if there's any more that test positive that go, to the reserve list, what happens to the game? I mean, do we have the game? Do they flex it out? Do they move our bye week up? I mean, I don't really know what happens at that point.
I don't think anybody does, but I mean, a preference would be not to play. I mean, we saw.
Let's play the Jets again.
Right. I mean, we see what's happening with the Titans right now, and it's just going rampant over there. And now we have another Chiefs player that's positive.
Yeah. Well, and the Titans, you got to think that there's going to be some sort of punishment for that. I mean, a lot of that, because so they had 3 people test positive, and then when they were supposed to be quarantined, they were all out on a high school football field practicing together, and so it looks like it might be a forfeit situation.
Right.
And I mean, when was the last time you had an NFL team forfeit?
Well, they're putting a multi-billion-dollar entity on the line here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to have 11 players already test positive, have 9 staffers, and I mean the numbers just keep rising. I see forfeiture. I see major fines. I see draft picks. It's
not only that. I mean, you have to look at it as kind of an example. So you have to look at the time frame of the Titans and how long it took all of them to start coming down with it, and then they play games against other teams, and then these teams are now starting to come down with it little by little by little. And do we really want to put some more people on the injury list?
I'm going to write a letter to. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
I'm going to write a letter to Goodell and tell them to take away their win from week 1. Give it back to Denver.
Yeah. There we go. Well, and then there's people that are freaking out because of Stephon Gilmore testing positive, and he was just in Mahomes' face the other day. So then you got to think okay, well, if the Chiefs get it and doesn't show up for a couple weeks, we play them in a couple weeks. So we're on a slippery slope right now, and I want my football. So do what you're supposed to, and stop being buttholes, and get off a high school practice field and quarantine when you're supposed to, because I want football.
Yeah, well, to kind of bring that into perspective, what you were talking about, Mike, they did ask some of the Broncos players how their feelings were going into Foxborough and, reading up on everything that's happened. And the guys are excited. They say they trust the NFL procedures, how they're handling things. Brandon Mcmanus, if I'm not mistaken, is the team's representative who speaks for everybody, and he says that everybody's on board. So this isn't really something that's going to deter this team. This team is hungry for a win, and they're willing to risk it, to fly across the country and play a New England team that it doesn't matter who they quarterback. I think this team is starting to finally get in a gear.
Yeah,
Well,
Bradley.
And if McMuffin says that, then it's fine.
Well, and Bradley Chubb had said, "Go ahead and put Newton in. I don't care. I'll sack him." So,
Well, and I think they said that they were preparing for all 3 quarterbacks, so they'll be ready no matter what.
I would like to know, but you've got to think with him being out and not really practicing that Cam Newton's going to be kind of a long shot to play. I don't wish anybody not to play because of something, but don't play. Give us Stidham or Hoyer.
I think that's just Cam Newton's fashion to be, on that held above everybody's head, like, oh, I'm not going to play, and then here he comes out of the tunnel, and he does his little Superman thing. I could just see that being Cam Newton,
Let's definitely not talk about his fashion.
And the Pats like to do that too. They like to hold their injury list, right until the last second. So.
I know, but you scared me, Christy, before when you said, "Look what Darnold did to us," and what about
anybody want to take a look into that real quick?
I will.
I think it might be true. I just got a thing from on my phone.
Vic says Broncos game being moved.
Is that from Mike
Thank
Clear?
you, Vic Shep.
This is probably
it's probably from Kisla.
that's Fangio's secret account right there.
Yeah.
Vic, thank you for that Monday night.
Yeah.
Big E. The NFL's talking about fining the Titans and taking draft picks away. They were talking about doing that to Gruden with the mask thing. Was fining them and taking draft picks away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's been moved.
They fined the coaches individually $100,000 and the team's $250,000.
Yeah, and then second one is draft picks with more fines.
No, I agree with this listener.
Yeah, Christina, if players put their teams in jeopardy, they should take a loss or get personally fined.
I know that cat.
I'm gonna stop displaying her comments. Big E. I heard the Patriots game may be pushed till Monday. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I kind of hope it does because that gives Drew Lock a couple more days. Now, I will say, I don't think they should play Drew Lock. I think they should hold him out for another week and let Rippon take it.
Definitely. I agree. Yeah. Even if it's a couple more days. But it was confirmed by Mike Cleese that the Broncos game was moved to Monday. So
is there going to be another doubleheader like this?
Yeah,
this Monday?
The Broncos and Patriots are kicking out first before.
It'll be an early game.
Before the Saints and I forget who the Saints are playing.
Raiders.
Raider again?
Right? No,
they played already.
Hold on.
That was week 2.
Chargers.
Oh, okay.
I knew it was one of the West teams.
It's kind of weird that the Saints get 2 primetime games so close together, but
that's because they're the Saints. They've got Drew Brees.
I suppose. But hey, this can work out in Denver's favor. An extra day for a guy like Drew Lock to get some rest in, and whoever might be questionable for the game.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that's going to give Cam Newton an extra 2 days?
Of course it does.
The sword is sharp on both sides, I'm afraid. So.
Well, and you've got to think that Belichick is going to want to put him in as soon as he can, whether he's practiced or not, because he would have done the same thing with Brady. And I'm not comparing Newton and Brady, but if Tom Brady hadn't practiced all week and then was good to go for game day, he'd be in there.
Right.
So I think Newton's probably going to play. I hope he doesn't. I hope he's healthy and I hope he's fine, but I hope he doesn't play. And then with Stephon Gilmore being out, I know that we went through the roster yesterday and we didn't really recognize. There was McCourty, who's the other corner, right? McCourty. I remembered McCourty.
Mm-hmm. McCourty.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll give him Duke Dawson back.
I do wish that Hamler was in so that and Fant was in, because then we'd have basically your main corner and your main safety against Patrick, Hamler, Judy, and Fant. But now we just have Judy and Patrick.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see more of Tyreek, Cleveland, and some of the other lesser known. Because I don't think we've seen Cleveland since week 1, if I'm not mistaken. So
see if we can get a trade from the Jets for Dior and put him at wide receiver. He can catch the ball
for their cornerback.
Yeah.
I mean, if they give them 2 more days, do you think like you're going to see some more cases come out in the Patriots team? And then what happens?
That's so hard to know. Like you hope not, but you have to think that probably maybe 1 or 2, and I don't.
It's like dominoes right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, did you see the story from Schefter yesterday about that Cam and Gilmore had been to dinner together right before Cam tested positive?
Yeah, I saw that.
Cam Newton and
Cam and who? Oh,
Gilmore, Stephon Gilmore.
Oh. And the other player that was the practice squad was Bill Murray.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not the comedian.
So Dan Aykroyd is freaking out right now.
Oh, we're not that old.
You know what? I was actually going to pose a question, but somebody beat me to it in the comment section I was going to say that the tight end situation for Denver is looking pretty dire right now.
I was wondering if you meant that one.
Yeah, you psychic. and Albert O is more, I guess, is going to more than likely make his debut Monday night. And if it's Drew Lock, I think he'll do good. But if it's one of the other two, like Rippon or Driscoll, I don't know if Alberto can shine, but maybe he can.
Well, and I know, like, at the beginning of the season, I had said that I thought that Alberto was going to have as good, if not better, season than Noah Fant. Obviously, I was incorrect. Now, as much as I would love to see Alberto, I continue to hear that the reason Alberto does not play is because he doesn't have the versatility that Vanette, which is just terrible, because the Frenchman is terrible. You thought I forgot, didn't you? As Vanette, the Frenchman and his butt. Segue into that. Jake Butt, and then hi.
My dad.
It sounds like Albert O doesn't play because he doesn't have the versatility. He's good at blocking. He's good at catching. He's not good at blocking. And so I don't know if he's going to play.
I really think that they're probably going to use a lot of Jake Butt, and hopefully it's not a lot where they force him to play more than maybe his knees can give out, because I don't want
a strong gust of wind. And he's down.
And with the way the injury bug is going around the NFL this season, I mean, I'm so glad that Jake Butt is still standing on 2 feet, and I actually have more faith in him than I do in Nick Vanette. But I'm guessing that it's going to be up to him and Alberto to, carry this offense in terms of tight end play or blockage or coverage.
Well, and I'm kind of wondering if they're going to put Jake Butt in Noah Fant's spot. So Jake Butt would do, because Jake Butt is more talented, more versatile than Vanette is. So you would think if they're not bringing Albert O up, they'd put Jake Butt where Fant would play, and then keep Vanette where he's at.
Right. But yeah, it's a conundrum.
So with with Dotson being in and having a improved offensive line, how do you see the offensive line holding up against the Patriots front seven? So, I mean, it's not like we're playing a Tampa Bay Bucks front seven or a Steelers front seven. I mean, if we looked at their depth chart, and I didn't even recognize a name on the front seven.
Right.
No, right now the Patriots are playing with either second string guys or practice squad guys.
Their defense isn't that bad. They played pretty good for a while against the Chiefs. So I mean, their defense isn't terrible, but now that we don't have a water slide over on the right side of the line. Like, I was trying to think of something funny to say, and water slide's the only thing I could come up with.
Slip and slide. I don't know.
Yeah, slip and slide. That works. You've got to think that the line would be able to hold up better than it would with Wilkinson in there.
I know, even with, you remember the old Dolphin no-name defense. I mean, this is like the really, really no-name defense. But when Belichick, say what you want to say about the guy, is his defenses are always good. Yeah. Even as a head coach, he was always overseeing great defenses, that always overachieved. So, we talk about Driscoll. I just don't see that there's any chance he gets to play. And the other night when he came in for that one play, I was like, "What happened?"
Yeah, I was so scared.
Yeah, we all panicked. Like, what the hell happened? Who did Rippon get hurt? Did I miss something? I just went to the kitchen real quick. What the hell?
It's like a
tried
game.
to pull a Sam Darnold run.
Right. I mean, he did. He ran and he made.
And he caught an unsportsman or not a sportsman, like he caught a flag
hit to the
head. So he gave the Broncos some extra 15 plus the 2-3 yards he ran.
Right.
Well, and
what was it? I think it was more than that.
Poltergeist! I think there's poltergeists everywhere today.
Yes, they are.
I want to say it was a 5 or 6 yard. No, 8. I think 8 yard run.
8.
I think it was 8.
I thought it was
he ran for 8 yards? I thought it was just like 3 or 4.
No, it was like 8 yards, and then he got like a 15-yard penalty for the hit to the head.
Right.
But let's also talk about the difference between the Patriots defense and the dirty plays at the Jets defense. Like, they were aiming for knees. They were going after Rippon's head. Like, they were hitting him when he didn't need to be hit.
It was almost like there was a bounty.
Right?
Yeah,
and
almost.
I think that's always how that happens with the Jets. I mean.
Yeah, and it also makes up for that nice quote by Vic Fangio at the end of the game when he was yelling at his guys, to go straight to the effing locker room.
Right.
Yeah.
And, Garrett Bowles looked like he wanted to really fight somebody.
Just grab Fangio's head, pick him up, and walk into the locker room.
Oh, Fangio was pushing Bowles, if I'm not mistaken. He kept pushing him because apparently
like
somebody...
that.
Yeah, so, some of the guys, they were, saying GG to other Jets players, and, you had reporters running around, and, I mean, it got kind of screwy, but I get it. I mean, nobody really knows. I think that what the answers that both Fangio and Gase gave in their conferences were kind of like that answer that everybody wanted to hear, but they didn't really say why Denver kept throwing the ball instead of running the clock out, or why the Jets defense kept going and hitting the quarterback, knowing that they were going to keep getting flagged. So,
but they had to, they had to throw that ball on 4th down.
No, on 4th down, I get it. But there was the other ones where they could have just, ran the ball instead of just throwing it. Because, who knows? Rippon could have thrown another pick, and you give – I mean, it would have given the Jets life because the Jets were already down by, what was it, 10 points or something? So.
Well, and then you had the offensive line for the Jets was going after Bradley Chubb's knee.
Yeah, those chop blocks.
Like, it's dirty all around.
Right.
It should have been flagged.
Right.
But that's just how Greg Williams' defenses are. And I'm pretty sure it's not the last time you're going to see plays like that for the rest of the season.
Well, then he shouldn't be coaching anymore.
And I think, honestly, and I read this somewhere, I think that that's also why they didn't fire Gase. Because if I'm not mistaken, if Gase gets fired, I think Greg Williams is the one that becomes interim coach, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, they can basically name the interim coach. I don't think it really matters. Because, you could have what was that?
Bill O'Brien.
Well,
Bill O'Brien. He's fired.
Bill O'Brien. Oh,
yeah, he got fired.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I thought you meant they were going to make him interim. I'm like, no.
No, the interim is
interim GM
Romeo Crennel.
Yeah, Romeo Crennel.
But there was a season of Hard Knocks where coach was fired and John Fassel, the special teams coach, took over. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was the Rams with Jeff Fisher. So they had other coaches on the team, that probably would, were higher up than the special teams coach, but they gave it to John Fassel. So,
That's
I
your
think
biggest nightmare if Vic ever gets fired and they give
Tom McMahon. Oh my, no.
I think we'll leave our jerseys at the door.
So we should make predictions for Monday night's game.
I was getting there. Okay, so
What do you suggest we do next?
not really knowing who's going to be starting on the Patriots and who is because of the nasty. We'll call it that. What? What are your score predictions? See, this is why you got to leave the stuff to me, because then I get flustered and I call it nasty, and then you make weird faces at me.
You know what he's going to be watching in that closet the moment we get off the air.
Oh,
No comment on
what?
that. No comment.
Changing the subject.
What?
We're not
score?
calling it the nasty.
I will call it what I want.
Okay. Just every time you say it, I'm gonna laugh.
What do you think the score is going to be? Whether the nasty hits or not? I had to see if I get a laugh one more time.
I would
Go ahead.
21
What?
Broncos.
What did you say? 28-21?
30-21 Broncos.
Whoa. Okay.
I think it's going to be a difference by a field goal. I say 23-20 Broncos.
And I was going to say 24-21 Broncos.
Christy?
She's still thinking
Well,
of nasty.
No, I just don't know what to say because I'm thinking about Cam Newton. I'm thinking about Cam Newton right now. Like, if he plays, then I would have to say that the Patriots are going to score in the 30 range. So I'm going to go with Broncos. 31 to 34.
30, okay, so you're picking the Broncos to win 34-31.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, I was just confused because you said I'm going with Broncos 31-34.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting how the game now, with the possibility that Cam could be playing, how our scores have.
Well, okay, so
Yeah.
let's say that those are the scores with Cam Newton playing. What is the score without Cam Newton playing? Because I don't even think it's going to be close at that point.
I think it's going to stay the same.
Really?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I was going to go 30-13.
Dang. Okay.
I'd say like 24 to, I don't know, 18.
Yeah, I would probably keep the Broncos score the same, do like 24-14. Something like that. Take a touchdown or so off the board. But that also depends on how many interceptions that Stidham and Hoyer decide to throw our way. So
True.
you never know. Let's see.
Let's see what the.
We got Z-Dub 28-21 Broncos.
I like it, Zach.
Landon 27-25 Broncos.
Woohoo! I like that one.
Albert, I'm going to say 21-18 Broncos and Crybaby in Cam. Without Cam, 24-10 Broncos.
Sweet.
So let's move into the AFC West predictions. Now, I'm super excited because I was like 4-7 last week, and I was 4-0. Yeah. I'm still last, so I'm still a terrible person, but I'm less of a terrible person. So we got 6'10", Christy and Glenn all at 9-6, and I'm at 8-7.
Sweet.
So we all chose the Broncos over the Patriots. The next game is the Raiders and the Chiefs. I'm going Chiefs, not even close.
Chiefs. Raiders are too beat up and they're struggling.
You got to go Chiefs unless Mahomes comes down with the nasty.
Nasty.
From
Yeah.
From the face-to-face with Gilmore the other night. Thank goodness.
And as always,
Sounds
Christy
so
picks the
terrible.
Raiders.
No.
I already said it, so I'm marking it down.
No.
Christy chooses the Raiders over the Chiefs. And then the other Monday night game, the Chargers and Saints. That is Monday night, right?
Yeah, they're playing after the Broncos now. I say the Saints. The Saints seem to be rebounding after that terrible start in Detroit last week. Drew Brees hasn't really shown that he's back to his old form, but hey, who knows? Maybe it might be a little late start for him. He's still kind of struggling without Michael Thomas, but the running back game and the defense is starting to come together. So I think Saints.
Well, and I am going to say, like, it happened to Tyrod Taylor again. Like, they just put
Herbert
as the starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Tyrod Taylor gets screwed from a rookie again.
I like Herbert.
just a matter of time before the team doctor tries to kill him.
Yeah. Another injection right in the heart.
I got Saints.
Yep. Saints.
I've got Chargers.
Yeah. Ooh.
I think this is the first time I picked the Chargers to lose. So
Well,
you're
I'm
probably
picking
gonna-
them. So okay,
Mike
I've
with
got
the
I've got Chargers. Christy's got Raiders. Moving on.
Oh, that eye roll is awesome.
So angry. I apologize. Jeez.
The Raiders make me angry. What can I say?
You love them.
So we do have some other predictions in the
I'm working on it. Vic with the Broncos winning.
Testy today.
Maybe it's the nasty. I'm just not feeling well. Arthur, 31-28 Broncos with Newton and 31-20 without Newton. ZWD, 28-10 without Cam. Ooh. Let's see. I'm showing hers again. 27-24 Broncos.
I'm telling you, I know that cat.
Let's see. 21-14 Broncos. Adam Sears. Landon goes with Chiefs
Go Broncos.
and Chargers. And then Arthur and ZW both go with the Saints. That wasn't it. Go with the Saints. Landon, who do you think is going to do best against the Patriots?
In terms of defense, probably going to say Bosby. I think Bosby's got the momentum going. Callahan's been playing pretty good defensive football, but he has yet to record an interception. So I think that Bosby he's really going to shine. If he can get an interception or two in this game and really make a statement, I'd be ecstatic.
I mean, I want to say Chubb, but then I kind of want to go with Bowles and Dotson. Like Fangio said, that Dotson was a little rusty, and he's gonna get better as the weeks go on. So I want to say it's going to be Bowles and Dotson. I think we're going to be able to run pretty much wherever we want.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of torn, but I think I'm going to stick with Bowles and Dotson.
That's
Which
a
in
good
turn
one.
would then give Gordon
No,
and
yeah.
Lindsey.
And Lindsey, yeah.
Right.
Open
And
those
we have-
holes, baby.
and we-
Run,
I
baby,
mean-
run.
It's a good look all around because, yeah, I think everyone will do good.
Yep. All right. Well, it is about that time. We need to go ahead and head out. We can log out right when we need to, so we can go catch that game tonight. I don't even know who's playing, but I'm going to watch it.
Bears and Bucks.
Bears and Bucks. I don't want to watch Tom Brady.
Tom Brady versus Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Who had a terrible game last
Super Bowl rematch, baby.
Oofta.
Different teams, different players, different time.
The
So-
Philly-
We want to make sure that everyone goes to our YouTube channel and like and subscribe, turn notifications on so you know every time that we are going live or post a video. Now, we do also post 3 to 4 videos between podcasts, just so that you, like, if you don't have time to watch the full podcast, I get it. So we put out 3 or 4 videos with like clips of like our AFC West predictions, our Broncos predictions. And then anytime Glenn or I or Don or Chrissy does something stupid, I usually put that up as a clip as well, because we do a lot of stupid things, mostly me.
This week it'll be Mike.
Like Nasty.
Yep.
And then I'm going to get your giggle on that intro. So at the end of the intro, that's going to be you. You can also catch us live on Twitter, and you can follow us at MHRT Podcast. We are also live on Facebook as well. Make sure that you're watching the game. Leave us questions. Our Twitters are down below, scrolling here on the screen. Watch the game. Write down questions. Send them to us. We'll go ahead and answer them for you when we get to them. We appreciate every single one of you being here, and we will see you next week.